Morgan Freeman saying, racism doesn't exist at certain times, and different things that he has said in the past. Not to take away from their I guess storied careers, but for me, I don't see them as allies. I don't see in the struggle Bill Cosby or Morgan Freeman, because they've never been there to be allies within the struggle. They've always looked at certain African people as a problem. You get what I'm saying? And so for me, when you join up with the enemy, eventually the enemy is going to come for you. That's not something that you can run back to the Black community and say, hey, they're attacking me, when you've been attacking the Black community for years. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people will say, well, he's donated this and he's done this and he's done that. He's done that on a class level. You get what I'm saying? But what has he done for the masses of poor Black people, him or Morgan Freeman? You get what I'm saying? It's always been a push with especially Bill Cosby. It's always been a push to elevate certain classes within the Black community. The upper middle class and what we would call quote unquote elite Black, even though we don't really have any elite Blacks, because when you're talking about wealth in the scheme of things, those elite Blacks aren't even within the 1%. You get what I'm saying? So I think that, to me, when you deal with the devil, you're gonna get burned. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even a Christian person. That's just something that, like I said, it's a way of a figure of speech. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes we look at them as, oh, well, they're just Black men, but they're not just Black men. Look at R. Kelly. You know what I mean? We have people going to bat with him because he's a singer. He's a great singer. He can write great songs. But what has he done to the young Black women in the community that he went in, that he was, to be totally honest, sexually assaulting, because those were children. And nobody wants to speak on that because because his skin is Black. You see what I'm saying? Or because he can sing well, or he can write really great songs. But he's a predator. You see what I'm saying? And a predator is a predator. I'm not gonna be behind you because you're a Black man. I'm gonna look at you, and this goes for anybody, whether it's a Black man or a Black woman, whether you're a Black babysitter who's having sex with a male child in your house, in the house that you're supposed to be, watching, or whether it's somebody going to a high school like R. Kelly, picking up young Black girls, taking them back to his mansion, and then sexually assaulting. You get what I'm saying? So my thing is that, for me, I'm not going to equate. Well, people will be like, well, Harvey Weinstein did the same thing. I don't see that as something to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to elevate myself to their I don't want to go to the depths of their level of evil. You get what I'm saying? They on a totally different plane. Why would we want to be behind people who act in that manner, who have those type of mannerisms and perspectives? You get what I'm saying? A predator, again, is a predator, whether they have Black skin or white skin. That is not something, we don't want any bad apples without the community. They need to be expelled. You get what I'm saying? And especially when those bad apples speak in a negative way about their own people. I have no love for you, period. So whatever whatever the system, however they decide to deal with Bill Cosby or R. Kelly or Morgan Freeman, that's how they deal with them. Because the way that you speak on the community and the way that you deal within the community reflects how you see the community. You get what I'm saying?
I like this. I like how you kind of broke down how, of course, everyone has the right to their own, opinion and perspective on things. But I like how you kind of made it clear about their allegiance or lack of allegiance to the black community, because it almost reminds me of O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson did not care about black people. The race issue only came up when he got in a jam, then
Mm-hmm.
with this white woman, and then he turn
Mm-hmm.
around and say, "Oh, they're doing this to me because I'm black," and then he wanted all this black allegiance to get behind him
Exactly.
because his freedom was on the line, and then they ended up getting him anyway. But before that, he didn't care about black people. Hence is why he always picked white women. Would you say it's
Right.
about the same thing with OJ is um, with Morgan Freeman and Bill Cosby? Is that what you're saying?
I would definitely, I would definitely say so. I think that not only do you have a lot of uh people who look like us who have their own internalized anti-blackness, but they also are, when you're talking about class enemies, these people are, they see a certain class of black people as who they are supposed to ally with. I can guarantee you, OJ Simpson, he didn't care about black people, but he cared about rich black people. You see what I'm saying? He had a lot of rich black friends. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with Bill Cosby. It's the same thing with Morgan Freeman. It's the same thing with, a lot of these black celebrities where they see us as their crutch. You know, we're gonna ally with the system until the system comes for us, and then at that point we want y'all to rally behind us because we're quote unquote black. But outside of that, you see what I'm saying? Outside of the system, that you have, uh, you know, uh, immersed yourself in, up until that point, you did not care at all about the black community. You see what I'm saying? You did not think when you wake up in the morning and you drink your high priced coffee, you're not thinking about what Tyrone and Lakeisha and what I'm saying, how the community's doing. You see what I'm saying? You trying to figure out how you can get ahead further within the system, within, what I'm saying, U.S. imperialism, and you know what I mean, and the classism that goes on, here in this country. They trying to figure out how they can get ahead for their individual selves and their families. They're not concerned about the rest of the community. So for, like I said, for me, um, I don't see them as role models. I don't see them as examples. I see them as, you did some dumb shit. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I
Hey,
apologize.
no, it's
You
okay.
did something.
Again, this is the hour. This is the hour of power. It's
Okay,
not a religious channel. We're not in the church,
right.
not in a mosque. Speak your
Yeah,
piece, man. It's
but
okay.
I just don't want to be disrespectful in case some children are listening or anything like that. But definitely, like I said, you did some dumb things, because you thought that you could emulate the white men that you were around. If we're gonna be honest, if we're gonna be honest, you did these things because the white men around you that you were around all the time, they were doing these things. So you thought you could do the same thing. And what happened is that those white men said, "Hey, you're not me. You're not on the same level as I am." You see what I'm saying? And so when I decide to create a scapegoat, you're gonna be that scapegoat. You get what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get away with it, and you're not. You see what I'm saying? And that's not to say that what they did should be excused. You know what I'm saying? Because I 100% believe that Bill Cosby put Quaaludes in some drink. I 100%. And then for me, he was doing what he saw other people around him doing. But the thing is that you're not only are you a predator, you see what I'm saying, at that point, but you're emulating these people around you who are just evil. You know what I'm saying? They don't call it Hollyweird for nothing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sexual abuse. There's a lot of child molestation. There's a lot of sexual assault. There's a lot of, if we're gonna be honest, there's a lot of murder that's going on within Hollywood and New York and all of these different things. And to try to emulate that evil, to try to emulate those people, I feel like you only get what you deserve. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to emulate them. Don't try to be like them, because in the end, you're the one who's always gonna lose. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel. Even with O.J. Simpson, I'm sure, I'm positive he thought, you know what? I can get involved with this white woman and I can do all of these different things. And you know what I'm saying? I can gamble and she can gamble and we can do drugs together. And I'm sure all the white people around him were doing the same exact thing. But when they got ready to make a scapegoat, he was that scapegoat, because you're emulating evil around you, and that evil is eventually going to come back to bite you. You get what I'm saying?
Right, right. Peace, Queen. I see you there. Thank you for tuning in there. Um, Going back to the relationship thing that we'll wrap up in a
Mm-hmm.
little bit here because I know you're a busy sister. What do you think some things that black men can do better to make relationships better with black women? And the same, what do you think some things black women can do to make
Mm-hmm.
relationships better in relation with black men? Just
I
as your
think it.
experience as a queen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it comes down to two things. I think respect, and I think love. I think we have to give out a lot more respect, and we have to give out a lot more love. We don't really do that a lot. Um, I know for myself, being on social media, you know what I'm saying, even you know, interactions and debates and different things like that with a lot of black men on my page, a lot of times it will turn into a lot of disrespect that doesn't have to be there. You see what I'm saying? And I feel the same way even about when it comes to black women and how we approach black men on social media. It's a lot of disrespect in on social media and in real life that doesn't have to be there. You see what I'm saying? I can express myself. I can speak to you. I can talk to you with love, and things will turn around when I talk to you like that. Things will when I treat you that way. When I walk up to you and instead of giving you a stank face, I can acknowledge you with a handshake or a hug. You get what I'm saying? And it's really, that seems really simple and that seems really small, but that's something that's not elevated in this culture. That, you know what I'm saying, this, especially the dominant culture, everything is is separated from each other, uh, from just, you know, how you even interact with people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a lot of individualism there, and I think that when you show love to people, when you show that person, they don't. It's you got to be a really messed up person for somebody to show love to you, and you just dismiss it. You get what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times within our community, we don't see that often. We don't see love displayed often, you know. And when we do see it, we have to elevate it like that, the exception. Like, I don't know if you've been seeing this, but that Black Love hashtag, you know, it's always been weird to me. I think it's awesome. I really do. I think it's awesome. But it's always been a little weird to me that Black love is looked at as the exception and not the rule. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, that shouldn't be something that if you see a black man and a black woman holding hands or kissing or walking down the street together, where you're like, oh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that should be normal to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To see a black man hugging a black woman and a black woman hugging a black man, that should be normalized. It shouldn't be an exception. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the biggest building blocks to building up the community, is establishing more love and more respect between each other. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, white couples, they got things they got to work on